Hey everybody, we are live. Oh my God, Kevin, this is an auspicious occasion for us for so many reasons. So many reasons, but we're going to get into that. Super excited about this one. I'm going to do some stuff in the background real quick, and we're going to let Kevin take over the introductions. Kevin, take it away, sir.
Yes, brothers and sisters of YouTube land. Welcome to the most exciting, most independent, and most righteous show in the world today. It is called Rumble Pop. And now I'm going to introduce to you my co-host and co-conspirators for the evening. First, to my left and to your right on the screen, he is a madman from the great state of Ohio. He is the executive producer and one of the co-founders of the Real Short Box and Rumble Pop show. He is from the great state of Ohio. He is Bruce Campbell's #2 fan. He is DC Comics for life. And if you have a problem with it, he might just pop you in the mouth. He was also the Kent State University's 2000 Mr. Beefcake. Ladies and gentlemen, women adore him. They want to be with this man. Men wish they can be like him. He is the man who's always socially lubricated. The original Don!
Thank you. One more applause, please, because I demand it. Demand stuff and they do it. It's great. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that.
All right. Next, we're going to the great state of Texas, that Lone Star State of Justice. Yes, we're going to the man who's originally from the great state of Michigan. He is one of the most learned men in America today. He teaches thespian arts to young students.
The lesbian art.
Excuse me.
How do I get it?
Excuse me, pardon me. He teaches the thespian arts to young students everywhere.
Hiding this from Kevin.
He's going to make sure that they get a job in Hollywood or Broadway. Ladies and gentlemen, he is lovable. He is huggable. He is one of the great men who knows Harry Potter from inside and out. Give it up for Professor Chris D. Turner.
This has to be the most awkward intro.
Thanks. But I gotta give some love to like the regional theaters. So I'm not just gonna throw LA or Hollywood out there. Being in a regional theater job is just as qualifying. So yes,
it is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's theaters all around the country.
Absolutely. Next, we're gonna go to the great state of Ohio. We're gonna go to a man who has brought back masculinity to professional wrestling. He lives a life of piety. He lives a life of righteousness. He is a man who is one of the greatest wrestling promoters in the Midwest today. He is a master technician of wrestling submission holds. He weighs in at a lean, mean, clean 235 pounds of muscle. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a man that if you cross him, he might just put you in the ICU. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the host of the YouTube show, The Horror Guys on YouTube. Please give it up for the Ohio Wrecking Machine, the Archbishop of Pain, Mr. John Lee.
Telling you, you're hired, man.
Next, we're going to another state. The great state of Oklahoma, that Sooner State. We're going to first introduce a special, talented man who, from the great city of Tulsa, he is one of the greatest ArcLight theater men of the 21st century. He is one excellent filmmaker, an excellent actor extraordinaire. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to this man. I call him, he is Mr. Monty Hunter.
I'm excited. Here's the next one.
Last, and certainly not least, a man also from that beautiful Sooner State of Oklahoma. A fine man. He is one of the greatest independent filmmakers working in the United States today. please give a warm welcome to an elegant man, a righteous man. He is Mr. James Shorty Malone.
Oh, that's priceless.
So our intros are a half an hour, and then after that we begin the show.
And of course, I am your humble podcaster, the Grand Master of the Jedi and Vulcan Arts, a man who emanates some Smurf energy, your Supreme Chancellor, Brother Kevin.
Woo!
Okay.
Tonight, brothers and sisters, we're going to have a good one tonight. Oh, yes. We're going to rank some independent films, some of the best indie films over the last 30 to 40 years. We might have to do a part 2, to be honest with you, because there's so many of them. There are literally like 300 great independent films that we can't really do it justice with one particular episode. But today, we're going to discuss, we're about to rank 12 of them. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
12. We're gonna do 12 indie darlings.
Excellent. But
Yes.
before that,
Before that,
we must give justice, give proper introduction to and discuss this perfect,
Yeah.
beautiful short film from these brothers of Oklahoma, Mr. Shorty and Mr. Monty.
yeah. Let me bring up the poster here. Give me one. Oh, nope, that's it. Kevin, what are you doing in that swimsuit?
What are you talking about? I'm not no swimsuit. I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know why you sent me that picture.
I don't know what you're
Oh.
talking
Hey,
about.
post it.
There you
I
go.
know
Come
what
on,
you're talking
post
about.
it.
Why you got all that lipstick
Now,
on?
you know I'm a modest man. I would never dress in a
Well,
freak.
at least text it to me so I can have it.
You are a sick, wicked man, sir. A sick, wicked man. I don't wear two-piece outfits like that. Maybe you do.
Well, that makes it even more enticing.
I feel like you're more of a Speedo guy, Kevin.
You know,
Yeah.
it's funny you mentioned that.
I
I
think you're
actually
more-
See in my head.
would wear a Borat Speedo. I could do that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Hey,
Thank you. That'd be great.
You would rock the hell out of it.
All right. So
It
up
would
on
be
the
so-
up on the screen, guys, I have a poster for a short film that's what we would call sweeping the nation.
Sweep of the nation.
It's making it into multiple festivals. It's doing very, very well. It's called My Husband is the Devil. Now, I know oftentimes we've all thought about that, but have not said it out loud. And this time it might be proven to be correct. We'll see. But really quickly, before we get started on this, I do want to give a few shout outs to some people that are popping in the chats. We have Enrique, thank you for joining. Ward, what's up, buddy? Thanks for popping in. Gerald is here. Hello. Darren says, what up, Monty? How'd you get a loose cannon like you on the show? I don't know how they got
That's an inside joke that Darren and I had way back in the day.
Okay. Oh, nice. I'm glad you remembered it then, because it would have been weird if you didn't. And then he would have been like, and then nothing. Nothing. But
Yeah,
that's
just
good.
like blank stare, like.
Right.
Huh?
Andrea says, "Oh my God, Monty, it's been so long!" Exclamation point. And
Who?
Andrea. Do you remember Andrea? She
Oh,
married
yeah.
Gerald. I mean, you know, if you remember him, you should
Yeah.
remember her. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And then-
God, it has so long.
Ward says Kevin can redirect lightning.
Why, thank you.
Wow.
Why, thank you.
Wow, that's
Thank
pretty
you.
impressive. So we have My Husband is the Devil. We have, now Shorty, correct me if I'm wrong, we have writer, director, producer, right? This is your basically your baby, your vision. And you were fortunate enough to have somebody like Monty, as talented as Monty, to be in the film. And what?
That is correct.
He
That is
also
correct.
he's also has been doing the entire soundtrack.
Oh, you've been scoring it. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeez. One-stop shop right here. Before we go, if you want to plug any type of information that people that are in that area can reach out to you, if you do like sound mixing or things like that, you know, anything like that, directing, camera work or something, please let us know. We can also post it on our social media pages so people have your information also.
Make sure you get paid, sir.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's all about making art, but also making money. Because you can't do
Absolutely.
one without the other.
Commerce
unfortunately.
and art always balance each other out.
They're like this, like shaking hands, but backwards shaking. So it's always awkward. All right. So My Husband is the Devil. This is, from what I understand, a snippet, a piece of a larger film that's tentatively, or it's been locked in. It's called Angel Lock. Now, this is something that you were like, okay, so how do I build steam for this film that I'm working on, this Angel Lock, this full length feature film? How do I build steam for this? How do I get people interested? How do I, maybe, I'm assuming, get potential investors involved? What do I do with that? And then you're thinking, oh, wow, I have this scene that's like a perfect short that would work perfectly as a short film, as kind of my calling card to show people what I can do, and also entice people, maybe investors or just people that want to work on the project, to continue or to join you in your endeavors. Now, am I correct with that?
That is correct. So this particular short film is actually one scene of about 35 scenes. So we pretty much, since it had a beginning and an end, we was able to just make it an independent thing, set apart, but it is a pinprick into what describes Monty's character. And it's just a little taste of what is about to happen, because you see him as when you first see like the commercial for it, you probably think it's another abuse case, husband's mean to the wife or whatever. But after you watch a little bit more, you see that it's not the case. This guy's got a pretty long history. So it's just a little pinprick, little teeth.
Mm-hmm. Just a little taste of something very devious that's happening or will happen. I liked it a lot, actually. Kevin and myself were two of the people in this podcast that had the fortunates of viewing this short. So thank you for that. We really had a good time with it. It's certainly an interesting. Oftentimes, like I was saying earlier, we often say, "Oh my God, my husband's the devil," or "my wife," or "my girlfriend," or whatever, and then you get into a situation where maybe there's something more to that. And I'm curious as to what basically got you on the path. So I guess I'm saying, who hurt you?
Who made you
It's
what you
kind of
are?
funny. As far as me being a screenwriter, basically, is
Mm-hmm.
most of the stories that I come up with come from dreams, or I just have one of those weird, strange abilities to put myself in somebody else's shoes that I don't even know. I can just imagine myself in that situation, and what does this situation look like? And I'll describe it to myself before I describe it to the world. And as a musician for the last 25 years or so, being a musician has helped me with the writing process, because my main goal, it's funny you said hurt, my main goal is to grab people by their emotions. I want their hate. I want their hunger, their love, everything. Even their arousals, whatever it's going to take to grab that person. I want that from them, because I want the same thing when I'm watching a film. What are you going to grab me by to get my attention?
Well, if you're
And that's
aroused,
what-
I could tell you what they'll probably grab you by to get your attention. But
Well, that's true. That's true.
I'll be here all week. So with this process of wanting to grab people's attention, wanting to get to know like what your audience wants, you said that you said something to me or to us that you felt like you could put yourself into the body of other people. Now, two things. That sounds like somebody that's very empathetic in nature, and we need more of that in this world. We need more empathy. We need more people that understand or can understand what it's like to walk in another man's shoes. But also, it made me think, hey, if this guy could literally put himself into the body of another person, any other person, alive or dead, who would it be?
Denzel Washington. So,
You didn't even think about that. That was like an immediate, like Denzel Washington.
Wow.
well, I
Learning
did
to
that
think
because I did that also because of the movie that he was in, where he was able to do that.
Right. What was the name of that?
Fallen.
Fallen.
Fallen,
Thank
fallen.
you.
Time is on my
It
side.
is on your side. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But in your
Yeah,
case,
it
with
is.
those wrinkles, probably not.
I don't have any wrinkles. What are you talking
Oh
about?
yeah. You that black cracked.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh, those bags have bags. They're flying to Florida.
No, they're not.
Yeah, I think they're making a trip
You're
to
blind.
Florida.
You are blind. You are blind.
Oh,
my
I'm
friend.
like right here. Literally,
blind.
no one else can see this, but I can totally 100% see this. There are bags.
False. False.
Woo, boy.
False.
Don't worry, we'll get you a cold compress, some cucumbers. You'll
False.
be back to
False
no
information.
Time.
False
No
information.
Okay, so Shorty, how did Monty get involved in this project? Did he was a Craigslist ad, I know it. But no, seriously, how did he get involved? How long have you guys known each other? Did you know each other before this project? Are you planning future projects? What's going on?
So good question. One of the consultants that I had pretty much kind of hired to shoot holes in the story, he works with me, and he knows
Nice.
Monty from their high school days.
Way back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, and he introduced me to Monty. What's it been, a year and a half ago?
Oh, at least.
About a year and a half ago, and now Monty calls me every day.
Every day. I saw Twitch when you said it. Calls me every day.
Now he's been, so the addition that he brings to the table is stellar. I wish I could show you guys some of the other things that we've shot where he actually has a lot of dialogue. You saw a little bit with the short film,
Right.
but the other characters that he plays two other characters, and he's just dominating. He is the guy for that role.
Nice.
He's just exceptional.
I'm gonna pull up a few background. Like I did some screenshots of a few of a few of the scenes. Now this is gonna be Monty, just Monty being Monty here. Well, not just. I find Monty to be a relatively warm person. I think in nature, actually a very friendly guy. So I don't think this is Monty being Monty. I think this is Monty being anti-Monty.
Anti-Monty.
Anti-Monty. There we go. It's like antipasta.
Anti-pasta.
Anti-Monty. Did you get your anti-Monty today? No, but I would love some. Thank you. So then Monty just treats you like shit. You're like, what did I do? He's like, that's what you asked for. But this is anti-Monty right here. This is Monty from on the set of My Husband is the Devil in an actual scene. It doesn't look like he's about to make anybody tea or offer them something to eat or maybe ask them about their day. It looks like he's about to slap the shit out of somebody. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know about you guys, but Monty does not look happy in this photo. And right behind him on the wall is a big framed picture that says family.
He looks melancholic.
And I guess when you're there, you're family, though, right?
And melancholic.
And you think he looks melancholic?
Yes.
No, he looks mean.
No.
He looks mean.
It's just a little taste
So
of
Monty,
it.
you're not exactly the nicest guy in this film. Am I correct?
No, not at all. In fact,
misunderstood.
what I do in this short film actually is kind of the tip of the iceberg of other things that I end up doing in the film. To the point, and I made a point to a lot of people that I know, I've been acting for over 25 years. This is the darkest character that I've ever played. And
We're going back. I'm so sorry, guys. We had a little connectivity issue here. Monty, you were saying something that I have no idea. You were saying something about yourself. I think you said this was the darkest film you have done, and you have done darker films.
Darkest character.
Darkest character,
And
okay.
that's right. So when that's taking into account all the plays I've done, because I've done, I think, over 60 plays in 25 years, and I've done a dozen movies. And darkest character I've played for sure.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, is saying something.
Yeah,
Given
definitely saying something.
Time.
It looks like Shorty dropped out for the time being. He might be busy or have had to go. That I'm unsure, so maybe he'll pop back in. But in the meantime, let's really quickly. I got a picture up of one of your cast members. And this is actually the other, Lexi McGrew. Is that it? McGrew?
McGrew, Lexi McGrew. Yeah.
Wow, she did a really, really great job in this short film.
Very sympathetic.
Yeah. I mean, you could sympathize with her, but also you could see the fear
And the pain in her eyes.
emanating.
The pain in her eyes.
all things being equal, she's before we shot that scene, she's never acted in anything a day in her life.
Wow.
That's actually surprising, but awesome, but surprising nonetheless. We got a few comments here. Ward says, walk the line. Is that Agent 47? Then he also says, in the first picture, Monty kind of reminded me of Agent 47 from Hitman. Oh, okay. You know what? I can see that. Look, he's right.
Yeah.
Dude, you're right. You're right on, dude. That's actually really... Wow, that's really clever. I'm glad you picked up on that. Monty, you got a future in video games. If this doesn't work out for you, or you can actually, what I would like to famously say, pivot and spread out your career to diversify your portfolio.
You can make money in video games for sure.
Make it rain too.
Make it rain.
Make it rain, Monty. Make it rain. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about My Husband is the Devil near the end here, but what we want to do is while we have everybody's attention, if you're in the chat, just let me know that you can still see us. We had an internet connectivity issue, so I want to make sure that we're still being viewed. So if you can see us, please let us know.
Let us know.
And that way we'll continue on. So I'm going to give it a second while I wait for somebody to respond and say that they see us. And that
well, I can see everybody except for poor John, who's being covered by the photo.
It's probably a good thing, though. I'm just saying,
our viewership went up when I covered his face with the picture.
Hey,
I just got a message from Shorty. He said, "Sorry." He's like, "My Skype just suddenly froze up."
Oh,
there he is.
that's
back.
no problem.
He's back.
Hey, there he is.
I have no idea what happened.
That's okay. We're actually we're pivoting. See, Monty, this is how it works. We're gonna start segueing in, and then we're gonna talk a little bit in the end about the short film also, because I want everybody to check it out when it is available. Shorty, real quickly, when will this be available? The actual short film for people to view, like audience, the people that are listening to us and watching us right now.
I'm going to say they could probably watch it the day after the festival on the 29th and 30th.
Of this month?
So I think so.
Okay, great. And it's playing at what festival this month and where?
This is at the Bare Bones International Film Festival in Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Awesome. Okay. If I was there in Oklahoma, I would totally go. But I actually will be in Ohio at the time, which is closer than I am now to you guys. So I'll just be shouting over if you can hear me, because I do have a loud voice. So you might be able to actually hear me. I hear Monty has excellent hearing. So
I'll buy you lunch. Come on down.
Yeah, all right. That sounds good.
Wow, look at that.
So let me, real quick, we're going to go over some books that I've read, that I've been reading. New titles, basically, is what I do. Primarily new titles of comic books, to just kind of let people know what's interesting and what's not interesting. We are a comic book podcast. We are sponsored by Splatter Frog Brewing Company. Go to splatterfrog.com. They're a Texas brewer, nano brewery. Click on them, order some pint glasses, some koozies, some shirts, some hats. Help them build up a cash flow so they can become a microbrewery and then hopefully a full-blown brewery and start dispersing and dispensing this fine liquid gold that we all love so much. Yes. We are also sponsored by Half's Hot Sauce. Go to halfshotsauce.com. Type in the coupon code Donald Hiccups. Yes, that's the code. For 10% off your order. They have some amazing hot sauces. They have a spicy dill pickle hot sauce, a sugar rush peach hot sauce, and so many other wonderful flavors of hot sauce that you could check out. My mom and dad are here, I believe, but they can't see us probably, or they can't comment, or they will see me shortly later. So everybody say hello to my mom and dad.
Hello.
Hi, Mom.
Mom and Papa McKinney.
Thanks for being on or for watching us later. I did not call them today, so they may have forgotten that I was on. Yeah.
Shame on you.
Well, my mom's got her surgery tomorrow. By the way, also everybody, if everybody could cross their fingers
Say
tomorrow.
a prayer.
Yeah, or if you're so inclined, say a prayer for my mother, who is going in for hip replacement surgery tomorrow. That would be also
we'll
fantastic.
keep her in our thoughts.
Yes, thank you. So let's go over some comics. Okay, first one out of the bunch. Usually I like to start off with something that's kind of and honestly, with surprise, it's Planet of the Apes. Now, as great a job as Marvel has been doing with Aliens and Predator lately, They took the Planet of the Apes franchise from 20th Century Studios, which they now own, and they said, hey, let's make a comic book out of it. Nothing happens. Not one goddamn thing happens at all. They're rehashing everything you've seen in every single film, and I don't care. So if you're literally trying to get me to not buy another Planet of the Apes comic, well done, Marvel. You've done it. Trash. Done. All right, next comic. We're going to move on. This is Dynamite. Not that it's fantastic. It's from Dynamite Publishing. This is Scar. This is part of their series of villains that they're doing to highlight the villains of Disney animated cartoons. Scar being one of them. This is the first one that they decided to do. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. It's just somewhere in between. We really need more story to decide whether we're going to like the book or not. So I'm on the fence on this one. Then we go to Hairball. It is rather animal themed this time. Hairball is about a killer cat, basically. Not much behind it. I know you have. You've dealt with this cat in particular keeps shredding phone cords and headphone cables, Monty. So maybe you're even more inclined to understand. But no, seriously, this cat will kill you dead. It's weird. It's really weird. Unless you're into the macabre and the really freaky deaky weird, it's not for you. But if you are, then it might be up your alley. So I'll give it a rating. Then we have, I decided to read this on Easter, a series called Junk Rabbit. This took me a bit to get into. This took me a while to read. It is very layered. There is a lot of story in here in a little tiny comic. Almost too much. So I'm also on the fence on this book. We don't have any real bangers this time.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. What's that?
No bangers?
What does it say? Woo! Oh, we're talking about Codename Ric Flair, baby.
Does he have a gun?
Yes, he has a gun. He has a comic book. Ric Flair is a secret agent a la Captain America. They have given him powers, and he is going undercover, wrestling from one city to the other, trying to stop international crime and devious no-good doers. Yes, this happened. It's fun on a bun. It's from Scout Comics. Highly recommend it. Check it out if you like stupid, silly fun. It is Codename Ric Flair. That is my recommendation of the week. And let's see. We got a few comments. Bonnie says, inspired by one of my fur monsters, I bet. Let's see, she's talking about, yeah. And Ward says, Donald the comic book master. Thank you, buddy. And then Bonnie says, woo! So, yes, that's where we're at on that. So we actually have done this ranking of indie darlings for today. We thought it would be nice to talk about Shorty's film and Monty being involved and stuff, but we also wanted to do our traditional live show so we can get more engagement, involvement from people. That being said, if somebody wants to ask Shorty or Monty a question in the chat, don't be shy. That's what they're here for. They are here to engage with you guys. They want you to check out their film. They want you to check out their future projects. They want you to follow them and say, hey, these guys are great. Let's see what they're doing next. So definitely reach out to them on here in the chat. Or if you could connect with them on social media, maybe their Instagram or Facebook or whatever that they have that's public, you could reach out to them on there and chat with them there also. But with that being said, we are going to our top 12 rankings of our favorite independent films. Now, what we did was we went and we got a general consensus. We reached out to Monty, we reached out to Chris, Kevin, myself, John, and I'm sorry, Shorty. It was so last minute that we didn't connect on your points of view, but hopefully we hit a few that you really enjoy and can discuss also. Sure. We also hit one other mystery guest that shall not be named that helps kind of tie break when it comes to these types of things, because oftentimes there's too many in one. Like, he voted for one, Chris voted for one, I voted for one, and Monty voted for one, and those two are clashing because there's no more spots left. So what do? We reach out to that extra person, they throw in their vote, and then we tally that, add it in, and then we come up with our top 12. It's actually quite a complicated system filled with slashes, dashes, and in lists and in dots and all kinds of fun stuff. So let's get started with this. We are going to start. Hey, what's up, Scott? Monty, Scott Broadway is in the house, buddy.
Oh!
Yeah. One of the most eloquent
Oh yes,
speakers
absolutely
of Usher greeting.
Absolutely.
One Mr. Clifford Scott Broadway is
elegant
here.
Elegant man.
And Cliff,
I-
if you
Tell him to
remember,
send the friend request. Tell him to send the friend request. I got one from Andrea, like literally as we were
hey,
doing.
that's
the,
awesome. Yeah, send Monty a friend request if you want to reach out to him, Scott. That would be awesome. Scott said, "Oh dear, don't get him started." Nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up number 12 on the list, okay? And number 12 is a little different for us because it is a mix of everybody's films, sort of. John, since I got a rather small list, yours is not on here. But perhaps you'll like it. And Shorty, of course, we talked about that. But it'll be, so let's start with Kevin, with probably your favorite on here. That I chose for number 12 for you. Now, this is just basically because we ran out of space because there were so many. But we're going to throw this one in there anyway.
Yes.
So this is number 12 on the list. This is Kevin's choice. Now, we're only doing this for number 12 on the list. Number 11 only have one film. 10 only have one film, etc., etc. But number 12 on the list, I'm going to put it in a den, then I'm going to put in parentheses Kevin, so everybody knows it's Kevin's choice. It's going to be none other than Cube.
Yes, indeed. A Canadian independently made film from 1997, 1998. And no doubt, I think some other films were influenced by it.
Oh, no, I was just about to say they absolutely were influenced by
Like Circle.
Cube. Sure.
Triangle.
Yep.
I saw some of those.
The Saw movies. I think the Saw movies
yeah.
definitely borrowed from this a little bit.
Oh, yeah. You're not
They
wrong.
would have probably not existed quite the same way if there wasn't movies like Cube
They
that
straight
kind of
up
got
ripped that
that.
shit off, yeah.
And what's cool about this movie, it messes with your head. Because what's scary is you wake up with a bunch of other folks, you don't know how you got there. And then you discover, okay, there's these other rooms. At the same time, these rooms are moving. And then at the same time, some of these rooms are death traps. And you have to be basically a absolute master genius mathematician in order to figure out which rooms are safe. And also find a way out of this entire multi-room, cube.
And no spoiler, because it's
Right,
been out for 25 years. There's a scene in
Yes,
there.
spoiler, 25-year-old
Yeah,
movie.
there's a scene in there where the master escape artist instantly fucking dies.
Yep, and then it freaks everyone out. It's like, oh no.
It freaks. Not only does it freak everybody else out in that room, it freaks the audience out, which I thought was chef's kiss. It was
Right.
perfect.
Because he's supposed to be like the ultimate.
But the problem with it, though, to me, is he was a really fucking cool character.
Yeah, and it got him too soon.
They should have chosen somebody that just you didn't want to see any more of. You know what I mean? Like somebody like that you just didn't like.
Right.
But he made himself almost too likable, and he was such a good actor in it.
The
I
Wren.
was
That
like-
was the name. His name
I
was
was
the
like,
Wren.
no.
The Wren. That was like his name. The Wren.
What was that,
Why
Monty?
he had?
Yeah,
That's why he had to die.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Very quickly.
So Cube is Kevin's number 12 choice. Now we're going to go to Chris's number 12 choice, and Chris may or may not remember what I put on there, so I'm going to just pull it up and let him know. It is the 2007 banger.
Pretty sure, yeah.
If you like singing and you like Irishmen, you're going to love the indie darling Once. Number 12, Chris's choice.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I thought it was a great movie, and it started a Broadway musical, which is a huge hit. And I thought the soundtrack.
Wait, that's not it.
And I thought the soundtrack was amazing on it, and it was a surprise for me. It was just like, what is this Irish? What is this? And I fell in love with it, and I love watching it, and the music is so good, and it's just such a good story and such a good movie. And thank you for putting it on the list.
I wish you were in Oklahoma, man, because my old from my hometown is actually doing that musical this summer.
Oh,
Really?
Shorty, you're a musician, right? So you did you see this film? Did it resonate with you?
I have the soundtrack too. I love it.
There we go. See?
Slowly is an incredible song. It's very fitting. They played that at one of the award shows, probably several. It's really good.
It's a fantastic independent film that's fantastically done. It's so intimate and so beautiful all at the same time. There was another film. It's not exactly the same, don't get me wrong, but it had that intimacy yet this broader scope. And what was it? It was a time travel film, and it had the guy from Love Actually in it.
About time.
About Time. Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew Chris would know it. About Time. And that film also bears mentioning on fantastic little films that just kind of like hold within a perfect little bubble, and you just want to protect it from the world. You know what I mean? It's like such a good film. And Once is that film. With Chris, in fact, when you mentioned it, I was like, oh, god damn, that is a really good film. So
You
I
know
wanted to
what's
make
cool?
sure, while it didn't get higher up, that it at least got spotlighted.
You know what's cool, guys, is, you know, Kevin and Donald, whatever. It's like it was playing at the ArcLight when we were all working
That's
there.
true,
So
wasn't it?
we got to see it for free.
We did get to see it for free, and that was the one perk. I went on a few dates back in the day where they would be like, "Oh, where are we gonna go?" And I was like, "We're gonna go to this theater," and they'd be like, "Oh, okay." And then I'd tell them, and they'd be like, "Oh, the ArcLight," and I'd be like, "Yeah," but I didn't tell them I worked there because I wanted to make it look like I had money.
And he had juice. He had juice.
Right? Yeah. And then when I'd be like, "Oh,
It's like, I know.
where are we gonna go to eat?" "Oh, let's go to the cafe at ArcLight because I get half off."
Right.
You know.
Yeah, juice.
Hiya. It all worked
Free
out.
pop.
Well,
That's
yes,
perfect.
and free popcorn.
Right.
Right, you're right, Monty. You would like I'd walk off to the side. I'd be like, "Hey, can I get some popcorn?" They'd be like, "Yeah." And they'd put it in a cardboard box instead of a bucket. And then I'd walk into the theater, and the girl would be like, "Why is it in a box?" And I'd be like, "Oh, it's easier to eat this way and share." And she's like, "Oh, okay." You know, no questions. I just had to make sure that no one was like, "Oh, hey," you know, like. But if somebody did, I'd be like, "Oh, I come here a lot," which is not a lie. I do come here a lot. You know, I work there, so I was there all the time. It was terrible.
I got backstage passes.
Yeah, right. Yes, I got backstage pass. Yeah, backstage passes. You got it, buddy. All right, so that is Chris's choice of Once. Now, Monty, not to throw you under the bus, but I'm going to throw you under the bus here because you were not prepared for this. I didn't tell you which film, but it's a simple choice. You know what I mean? Like it's an easy one to do, and that is your choice on one Mr. Kevin Smith for my favorite, which is why I wanted to make sure it was highlighted. Although I didn't vote for it, particularly because it is my favorite, but I'll explain a little more later when we get to the other one. But Mallrats. So, Monty, do you want to talk a little bit about why Mallrats resonated with you so much that you wanted to put it on the list?
Well, I think because when I first saw it was pretty much not that terribly long after it released or whatever, and I saw it on video and stuff like that, and I just enjoyed just the kind of almost weirdness and some of the comedy could be kind of crude, where it's like, they could have been a little bit more subtle, whatever. But
Yeah.
there was something about it. It's like the actors and everybody were great. I don't know. It's like, well, in thinking back on it, as someone who kind of was a mall rat myself, I was constantly hanging out at the mall back
too.
when malls were relevant.
I mean, anybody that was a product, a child of the 90s, I would say, the 80s and 90s, knew what a freaking mall was. You know what I mean? Like, you lived, especially if you were a teenager. Monty, you lived there. I don't know about you. I went to the movies at least 4 times a week. I didn't say I paid. I went to the movies at least 4 times a week. There was an arcade little area right by the theater. All you had to do was just play arcade games, and when they weren't looking, you just scooted on in. It was
There were no security guards?
no, there was no security guards. I got in
Man.
for so many free movies.
That
It
would
was
have been the end
amazing.
of me if I tried.
Oh,
that.
you shake
no.
your head, John, like you didn't do that.
Do you know how
I'm
many
saying
times?
you're right. There was nobody there to stop you from doing shit. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Do you know
Now
how
if
many
you try to
times?
do that, you get
Like,
shot.
there was especially easy to do, like at this theater, this mall in OKC, right? Where it's like we'd buy like a ticket for one movie and we'd watch it, and then we would immediately after that was done easily sneak into another movie for free
Mm-hmm.
because of how kind of labyrinthian it was set up. So nobody do. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah, it made it nice. We would go. There was a store there called Farmore. Pharmacy and more, you know, or far more than a pharmacy, whatever you want to say, right? But they had 5 for $1 candy bars. I about closed that place out. I think when they went out of business, they blamed me because I kept buying so many candy bars. They also had 4 for $1 sodas. So I would buy, this tells you my sugar addiction when I was a teenager. It's not much better now, but at least I cut out soda. I would buy 2 cans of soda normally, and I would have 5 candy bars. I would go into the movie theater, I would at least eat 2 candy bars, have 1 can of soda, and then take the others home or leave it for later, walking around the mall or whatever. But like I would stuff them in my pockets and then go play an arcade game for like $2 worth of arcade games. Then when somebody wasn't looking, me and my friend would sneak in, and then we would pop open the cans, we'd eat our candy bars, and we'd watch our free enjoyment of a free movie. And I could say this now firmly because that theater no longer exists. It stopped existing a long time ago. So, but I loved it, and I do miss aspects of things like that, of being able, you know what I mean? Like just that innocence of being like, oh, just sneak into another film or whatever. You know what I mean?
didn't have that luxury in New York, unfortunately. Security guards
I
would have nailed you.
I'd hit up the Dollar General in town or whatever, stock up on all kinds of candy and stuff like that. Like you said, like loaded in your pockets. Like I ain't paying the prices of the freaking theater charges.
Right.
That's kind of like how we would steal candy at the ArcLight.
You guys did that?
Oh, come on.
I didn't do that.
The dark chocolate Ghirardelli bars were like bangers, dude.
I don't
I
know.
feel like I'd walk out with my pockets like this.
I don't know. Security guards were always watching me, so I wouldn't even dare.
on.
Yeah, Big Walter wouldn't certainly let me
Big
get away with
Walter
that.
would let you
No, he
steal
would not.
candy
No,
bars.
he would
Yes,
not.
he would.
No, he would not.
Big Walter walked in on me doing a lot of things.
That's you.
and
That's
he
you.
didn't say a word.
That's you.
Yeah, but he likes you too.
I think
What are you
Yes,
doing?
but at the same time, he won't let me break the law like that.
Oh, yes, he would.
No, he would.
Yes, he would.
I
No,
think one of the worst decisions they ever made was when they made me an usher greeter. And so part of the whole, restocking the snack bar in between like the
One for you,
schedule.
one for me.
Ever-
One for you, one for me.
Like, yeah, and we'd go back into that area, right? And we would just clean out.
Mm-hmm.
And,
All right.
and the hot dogs and the sausages and stuff like that. I got caught more than a few times
Uh-oh.
by some of what were they called?
QCs.
Yeah, that's it, QCs or
And
whatever.
also, they remind you of the 5 practices.
Gerald was a QC, was he not?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And so was Andrea.
Yeah, was she?
Yep.
I think she was nicer, though.
Yeah.
He was a little bossy.
But they remind you of the 5 practices.
I'm
you know?
kidding.
Do you remember the 5 practices, Monty?
They were both fine.
I think I chose to forget.
Let's see. Chris says, "Oh man, I love Sing Street." Andrea says, "John Carney is amazing. Have you seen Sing Street?" Gerald says, "I met Glenn Hansard at ArcLight before a Q&A. Nice guy. I survived my first couple years in LA on ArcLight food." Evan Aldrich is in the house. Hello, Evan. Thanks
What's
for
up,
joining. Gerald says, "Mallrats is an indie with a question mark." It kind of is. I'm
Well,
gonna say
Miramax at the time was still...
still technically kind of an independent company. I don't think at that point that they had gotten.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I
it
think
wasn't
maybe
like
Disney had just bought them around that time, or maybe just after it.
Yeah, maybe just after. So they produced it as an indie. So anything else after that kind of, might not be mentioned.
What's funny, I actually prefer Chase and Amy out of that Jersey trilogy, to be honest with you.
Funny
I like
enough,
Chase and Amy.
Bonnie says Mallrats is a required Easter viewing for me every year. How about that?
As well as Chase and Amy, Miss Bonnie.
And by the way, smash that like button for us, guys. Put us up higher in the algorithms here on YouTube Live. That would be amazing. Tell your friends also.
so
If
now
you don't
get
have any
paid.
friends, make friends just so you can tell them about us. That's the best part. It's like a sneaky friendship, like a fake friendship, just to get them to watch stuff that you like.
There you go.
I think that's a lot of friendships in general, though, if you think
That's true.
about it.
That's true.
I mean, that's why you befriended me.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You wanted me to watch all those snuff films, remember?
That's not true.
Oh, okay. Fine. Whatever. Janet says Bonnie. Okay, Bonnie says haha. So they're laughing at each other or with each other. I don't know. I went to American Ninja Warrior. American Ninja Warrior. Yeah, no. Yeah, American Ninja Warrior. I think it's what it is, right? The outdoor thing?
Yeah.
I went with Bonnie and Camille a couple Fridays ago. And they asked me, they said, "Sir," they said, "you look like you're probably in the best shape out of anybody in the audience. Do you think maybe you could run this American Ninja Warrior trial for us? Do you think you could be in it?" And I said, "No, sir, I can't right now. I'm in training for better things. And unfortunately, that doesn't involve American Ninja Warrior right now." And the guy was like, "Oh, damn, I'm super bummed, but okay, I understand." He walked away. Didn't even ask Bonnie or Camille. Straight up came right to me. It's weird.
And the funny thing is, those two ladies are more athletic than you.
Shut up. Anyway, so Mallrats. Monty. Mallrats. You loved it. What did you feel like, instead of mentioning Clerks, you mentioned Mallrats? Is it because it's in color?
I actually did mention Clerks.
Did you? God damn. That joke just
It was
fell,
on my list.
fell
It's on my
its
list,
face.
Don.
Fell on its face.
Like what? It was like one of the
What
one of
list,
the
Monty?
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
There's
whoa.
no list here,
Whoa,
sir.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
I don't have a
was
list.
I was expecting you to take a lighter to it. Damn.
Oh, yeah, I don't
It's like,
have
no, Clerks is on the list. I appreciate Clerks just as much as, or more, actually, quite a bit more than Mallrats. Mallrats, just like I said, resonated
Jesus.
because it was a particular
He's just
time in my
slamming
life.
on Mallrats. Like, he hates it. Like, now he hates it. He loved it a minute ago. I don't know. But seriously, Mallrats, it's really good. I agree. It does resonate with a certain age group, with a certain period of time for them. And I do highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, actually Monty and I recommend that you check it out. Really quickly, I'm going to mention mine, which will be the last one for this. This one I can guarantee you maybe one of you have heard, but nobody else. This is called In the Company of Men. Anybody else heard of this?
Yes, I have heard of it.
I've heard of it, but
Looks like you have the man who would later play Two-Face.
Aaron,
Isn't that the movie? Isn't it the movie with the girl and she has like this whole like circle of men around her and
No, that's a porno that you watched, Chris. That's a porno.
Now, that's quite an accusation there.
That's wrong. I remember they did one also, a parody where April O'Neil was on a couch and all the turtles were surrounding her. Also a parody of that porn.
That happened?
Yes. like you don't know.
No, I'm serious. I don't know that.
Like you don't know.
I don't know that.
No.
That's crazy.
No, that's odd that you wouldn't know about that. Okay. Huh. All right. Anyway, In the Company of Men, starring Aaron Eckhart and the lovely who's that lady? She was on Law and Order. She's deaf. I can never remember her name.
oh, Marley Matlin?
Yes, thank you, Marley Matlin. She's in this as well. So Marley is fantastic because she actually. Here's the thing. So these two guys are high-powered kind of executives, right? And they are the one thing that they can't control. They can control stocks and money and like they have power and shit, but they can't control women. And it makes them furious that women like refute their love, right? So they make a pact. The two of them make a pact that they're going to find. This is the fucked up part. They're going to find somebody that's kind of pathetic or disabled in a way, some sort, and they're going to fuck with them. And they're going to make that person fall in love with the both of them. And then they're going to dump her. Just like all the women have dumped them in the past. And that's the pact that they make. So they both find this deaf girl. And they both decide this is the girl we're going to fuck with. And they start dating her. Now, Aaron Eckhart, obviously is the more charming, better looking dude. And the other dude is, run of the mill. But she's, seeing them both. And they're like, at first, they're like, this is really fucked up. She's seeing us both at the same time, but she's not telling us that she's seeing the other one. Well, we know she's seeing the other one, so let's fuck with her more. So they get more, like, mean to her and stuff. And it gets to the point where the little squirrely-looking guy, I guess you could say the less attractive one, starts to actually feel bad about doing this. And he actually starts to enjoy her company and likes having her around. And the film progresses to the point where Aaron Eckhart is the meanest son of a bitch you'll ever meet and is somebody you would never, ever, once you found out what he did, want to do business with him. And what happens to the little squirrely guy and stuff gets kind of sad and crazy. And I just recommend it if you get a chance. Also, if you happen to hate women at the time, I feel like it's a good film to watch. And John, before the criticisms start pouring in, I know I sound like a complete piece of shit, but
If you're a woman hater,
if you hate women, watch this film, and it will make you think differently. That's all I have to say. It's something that when you're in your lowest lows in any type of a relationship, when it comes to romantically, if you watch this film, it is going, unless like your girlfriend is a serial killer or something like that, you know, or got
Or you
mauled
married-
by
or you-
a bear,
or you
hit
married an
by a
axe murderer,
bus
or you
or
married an
something.
axe murderer.
Yeah, or you married an axe murderer.
How did you hear about my ex?
See, you should watch this film then, Monty. But I recommend it for multiple reasons. It's very layered. It's very intricate. It's very mean spirited, but also kind of makes you a little bit more kinder towards people. And that's, I think,
just
that's the weird thing that I got from that.
quick fact check that it was Stacey Edwards, not Marilyn.
That's what I meant. That's what I said.
Stacey Edwards was the actress.
That's
Who
what
the
I
hell is
said, Kevin.
Stacey Edwards?
She's been in
And the
stuff.
other actor in the movie was Matt Malloy.
Was it another Malloy?
Mm-hmm.
What is going on with all these Malloys? Jesus.
You related? Shorty, are
Maybe.
you related?
Maybe.
Well, there we go. We got another future actor for another film project for you. You just call him up, and be like,
Right.
brother. He'd be like, what?
Brother, cousin.
Yeah, brother, cousin. Uh-oh. Look who it is. It's Little Greek Coffee House. Wow, long time no see,
What's
Alexi.
up, Alexi?
And Osiris. That's Big Sal. Hello. Thanks for joining, Big Sal. Andrea says they are looking to reopen soon, but not sure on the details, but have heard that multiple times from credible sources about ArcLight.
Yeah, they got their liquor license, I heard.
No shit. Huh. And then
I hope you
Malraz. Oh, that's Melissa, right?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks
What's
for
up,
joining,
Melissa?
Melissa.
Hey, we had a whole ArcLight reunion up in here.
We are. Monty, Melissa's here. We've got Bonnie. We've got Scott. We've got Andrea. We've got Gerald. Anybody else? I think that's it, right?
Marcus might pop in. We'll see.
Marcus. Oh, yeah, right. Marcus, who doesn't ever respond to my text messages anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, does he? Must be nice. I guess it's a racial thing. I'm just going to say that live on the air. He'd be like,
Again,
no!
For all my Arclightian
'cause I'm
friends
Irish.
from back in the day, if we're not already Facebook friends, hit me up.
Yeah.
Don't leave me hanging.
Yeah,
And
don't
Darren.
leave him
And
hanging.
Darren. Give Darren.
Oh yeah, Darren's in the chats too. I forgot about that. He popped in and out. I think he's out right now. Okay, so let's move on. We got to hustle. We're going to move on a little bit. This is where it gets fun and gets. Oh, Sammy's here. Thank God, boy.
How dare
A
you?
podcast wouldn't be the same without Sammy.
Miss Sammy is an important, integral part of the podcast, of the live
Are
stream.
you drunk?
Yes, I am, actually.
All right, here we go. Number 11 with a bullet. We just did number 12 with all of our choices. I think, honestly, Monty, if I recall, you're the one that mentioned this, and I was like, that's a really good choice, and I'm going to back that. Not because I liked the film, but I liked what it did. I liked how it opened doors, and I liked that it created a new subgenre, actually. And we're talking about the Blair Witch Project.
Oh yeah. It created the found footage thing.
Well,
Still
And
going.
if it didn't create
Well,
it certainly made it popular.
Technically, there was one
See,
before
I
this
said it because
called
I
The
knew
Last
I know.
Broadcast.
he was going to do that.
Yeah, I know, and I think they tried to sue them or something back in the day, right? When Blair Witch came out,
Yeah.
the people that made
Yeah,
that
it's a similar concept.
they're like, you stole our freaking, it's like, well, it's a completely different story. So just because they're doing it the same way with the found footage aspect, it's
Sometimes being first doesn't get you the gold.
Who does that
sometimes.
look like crying in the picture?
You?
Yeah, no. You remember? No, not me. Do you remember the assistant camera op for Blue Beetle? What was her name?
Oh, yes. Mariah?
Mariah. Yeah, that looks like Mariah, doesn't it? Like
little
her
bit.
crying after I'm like, I'm the Blue Beetle. Me.
Well, you cussed her out, probably. That's probably why.
Yeah, I did that a lot.
you were the Blue Beetle, but now there's like a whole new movie with the kid from Cobra Kai. So
I don't know what you're talking about, buddy.
Yeah,
there
don't-
is no other Blue
Don't
Beetle.
talk about it. It'll get very
It's
upset.
just Ted
He
Cord.
gets very well. You can't forget about Dan Garrett.
that apparently that hit a nerve, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
Hey, the suit's in the movie.
The suit is in the movie, at least we know. I'm happy for one thing that the suit made the movie. My only worry is that they're like, let's just show the movie of the suits of all the dead Blue Beetles. And then I'll be like,
It's possible.
I'll be heartbroken. But yeah, for those that don't know, they're making a Blue Beetle, or they made a Blue Beetle movie, and it's coming out in August.
And also, tell them
Around
about the
my
4
birthday.
Seasons. Also 4
And
seasons.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I created a web series called The Blue Beetle Ted Cord Returns. It's on Rumblespoon Productions on YouTube. It's also, you can go to rumblespoon.com and look it up there. And it's 4 seasons of greatness of me as Ted Cord, the Blue Beetle, just running around being stupid in a spandex suit. So it's a comedy action film with a lot of cartoon comic book panels integrated into the series. So it's a hybrid. It's a lot of fun, I feel anyway. We did our best, didn't we? Kevin plays Black Licorice in it, one of the superheroes, and Chris plays one of the main villains, Dr. Hypnovert, actually, who ends up turning into an original creation created for the web series.
And then there's another creation that got ripped off.
Well, yours was Black Licorice.
It's
Yeah,
stolen
and
from DC.
originally I was going to call this character the Red Beetle, and then DC Comics, about 8 months later, came out with a character called the Red Beetle with the exact same costume that I had created.
Same design.
Louis and I in our designs.
Same design.
Exact design. Even made this person half black, half Indian,
Yep.
which blew my fucking mind.
So you knew somebody was listening in.
Yeah, you knew somebody was there. You know, they were like, "Oh, let's do this. Let's take this idea." Sons of bitches.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened. So the Blair Witch Project.
I was just gonna say, because one of the other films that was on my list, which was like number one, the interesting thing, and maybe this is why the other movie and some of these other movies were so pissed off at Blair Witch, is that Blair Witch dethroned Halloween 1978 as the highest.
Uh-oh, you're touching John there.
Look at
Oh,
John.
man, you about to
Look
upset
at
John
John.
Cataline. You about to
I'm going to
Bro.
shrink down behind
Oh,
this
boy.
picture.
Monty, if he flies from Ohio to Oklahoma, he's gonna DDT you, brother. He's gonna DDT you.
He'll be like, "Where's that premiere?"
I'm gonna film that.
Like, well, now I'm not staying. It's like, no, but the Blair Witch Project actually was the first independent film since the OG Halloween to be the highest grossing independent film. It dethroned Halloween. So that was a big deal. So I can imagine why other people that are like, we did the film footage thing first or whatever. It's like, hey, man.
Then again, wasn't it later dethroned itself by Paranormal Activity?
Yeah, Andrea says that she mentioned Paranormal Activity, actually. She says, I love that Paranormal Activity adopted the same strategy. She's not wrong, but then Hector says Paranormal actually copied the movie from Spain called Record, REC. That is a good series of movies as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wreck, yeah.
It basically, everything's basically ripping off everything else. At the end of the day, they say there's only so many plots left in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Not true. Not true.
Wow. Walter says Booster Gold carried Blue Beetle in their series.
Wow.
He didn't come in until season 3.
That's true.
Wow. Wow, Walter. Wow. That obviously means that Walter never watched it. It's embarrassing for him to not be able to enjoy such greatness. All right, so let's move on from the Blair Witch real quick. And let's see. We have another, actually, this is another Monty banger here that I highly agreed with, and Kevin probably has something to throw in, and I think John and Chris will, and probably Shorty as well, because it's just one of those films. It's just fun on a bun. It doesn't take itself too seriously. We're talking about a Edgar Wright Coronado trilogy, the beginning of the Coronado Cone trilogy. We're talking about Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
See, I wanted to put this on the list, but I wasn't sure if it was an independent film or not. Because some of these films, I was like, well, I'm not sure. So I left them off.
It is tough. I totally get it, Chris.
But
See,
but
dude,
I
my
love
whole
this movie.
It would be the same way. It would be movies that are famous now and popular now, but they were independent films when they came out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's kind of tough.
It is tough because,
They
and then
grew like
people
a-
will be like, "Oh no,
well-
it's hard to justify."
So these movies that are like word of mouth, get a cult following, then all of a sudden they just blow up, basically.
Yeah. I'm actually very curious to John and Shorty's opinion on this film. What you guys thought of it when it came out, and what do you think of it now?
I absolutely love the fact that they mixed so much comedy along with the horror side of things. That's
Yes.
what it's, to me, it's a great attention grabber. And it helps motivate me to do the same thing with the films that we do,
Oh,
which
good.
we most definitely have.
Nice.
You've not seen that side yet, but
No,
We've got-
yeah. It's like there's a lot of comedy or whatever, but when shit gets real, shit gets real.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, they
then
throw a lot of that in there.
it goes full on horror, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's like you're laughing one minute, and then you're like, oh,
Right, you're bringing an old zombie man around to Queen's "Don't Stop Me Now" with pull cubes, while then like in the next breath, one of your mates is getting pulled out the door and torn in half, and zombies are pulling out his guts and eating his insides.
Hey, when you're hungry, right?
That's true.
this is perfect. Hey, I like
White
the
should
whole.
have that Snickers.
That's true.
To be honest, I enjoyed the entire Cornetto trilogy as far as that goes. I loved Hot Fuzz,
Mm-hmm.
The World's End. You know, I love that whole thing. So it's like, but Shaun of the Dead of that sort of trilogy is definitely my fave.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of it all. I will say that personally, I think this isn't personal, but my personal part is my preference. But I feel like each one of these films hits somebody a different way. Like for me, The World's End just hit the right note for me at the right time, and that became my favorite. I still love the shit out of Shaun of the Dead. Hot Fuzz took me a couple times to watch, and then take a couple years and rewatch it for me to really get it and enjoy it, because I don't think I had revisited some of those films that they were emulating often enough, or remembered them well enough to know that that's what was happening in the movie. So, when he's in the, on the ground firing into the air and stuff, it didn't resonate with me. It didn't hit me. So,
Point Break was like his favorite movie. So it's like,
yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't catch that, Donald.
Well, Point Break
Like,
wasn't
first-
exactly. I wasn't a huge Patrick Swayze guy to be, and that's all my sister. It's all her fault. You can write her if you want. I'll give you her address. No, I'm not going to do that. But you can let her know, because she made me watch Dirty Dancing 7,000 goddamn times because she was absolutely in love and a teenager when Patrick
what about
Swayze came out with that movie. It did no. It was just Dirty Dancing
So that song's in your head.
all the effing
Of
time.
your life.
Yes, and even that stupid one. Yeah, I'm over it.
Hey,
I'm good.
let the man rest in peace.
I don't want to see it anymore. And so then, like, when they're like, "Oh, another Patrick Swayze film," I was like, "Fuck no!" Like, I'm not watching that. And it took me a long time, Roadhouse to get an appreciation.
That was the heyday of Swayze, was that late 80s, mid to late 80s, when he was doing all those films.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, man, the ladies loved him. And
They did.
but you can't tell me that Roadhouse is one of those guilty pleasures that when it comes on TV, you can't help it. You can't help but watch it.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. Pop Shop, thanks for popping in. Also, I didn't say it to Walter earlier, but thanks for popping in, and Hector. And Mel, and Ultraman Magnus, thank you for being a part of this. We're going to go with the next one on the list. It's number 9 on the list. I don't remember who else chose this. It might have been just one. I'm not sure. It might have been one of the ones that just got the extra vote from the secret voter. But this is number 9 on the list, and this is Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that one.
Oh yeah,
Dang.
I know.
John Heater. Next year will be the 20th anniversary of this movie already.
I did, and I have a hot take. I disliked this movie. It took me 6 times to watch to get through it.
Really?
And I didn't. Well, I shouldn't say I hated it. I didn't connect with it.
Yeah, I think it's like that the first go around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got it.
I had a friend that like swore up and down about this movie. Said it was like the greatest thing ever, and I watched it. And I was like, I don't get it. Like I don't see why that was the greatest movie ever. Obviously, you watch
weird,
it again and again, and you catch on to the stupidity of it. But
It was the immediate weirdness that just grabbed me and brought me in. I was just like, this movie, it's just so
I
weird.
want to say a little pop fly.
So
Kevin's saying hi,
I don't
Pop Fly Pop Shop.
So this is
So you notice he says hello everyone and then hey Kevin. So he doesn't include you as a human being, as another person.
Oh, hey, it could be
So-
worse. It could be worse.
I'm just saying.
It could be worse.
That means you're some type of alien entity.
Well, you know what? That's a good thing in some cases. That's a good thing.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah. Aliens are often loved. Definitely not vilified.
No. Like the one Keanu Reeves played in the remake
Of what?
was like the
Oh,
Earth
Day
Still
of-
Standing- Earth Still Standing
Oh, I
Still.
forgot that movie existed.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, who watched
You and
that?
everybody, man. I did.
I know,
I
right?
did.
Good Lord. Bonnie says, I'm
I
not a
remember
fan
watching-
either, Chris. It's okay, but it just doesn't work for me. Sal says this movie was only good for watching it twice, and that's it. Oh, twice. Yeah, well, probably once to watch and the second to... Gerald says, it took me a while to understand the humor of Napoleon Dynamite, and Bonnie says, way overhyped. I saw it at the cheap theater because I wasn't going to pay full price for it. I'm going to tell you that right now. And when I saw it, I was pleasantly surprised with how weird this damn thing was. But not only weird, but in a way like who yells at a llama and is like, what was it, potato salad or some shit that you're throwing at it to try to get it to eat?
By the
Like-
way, does Pedro win the election? That's people want to know.
Well,
Do the chickens have talons?
did you vote for him? Yeah, yeah.
Like, do
And
the
wasn't it
chickens
the
have
girl?
talons? Well, I understand the word you said.
No, it was the guy that was keeping he kept tots, right? Tater tots in his pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
a genius idea. Now they have little like things that you can hang around your neck where you can keep a pizza slice warm. So this movie was ahead of its time, guys. I'm just letting you know. There should be, if there is not already, a tot pocket.
It's tater tots full of like pocket lint is good as fuck.
Yeah, no, that's why you need an insulated tot pocket, John. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
You need
Something,
a
man.
tot pocket, and then you got another pocket that's just like two little small insulated ones for sauces, like ketchup
What
and
hap-
mustard or something.
What happens if, like in the movie, you have a bully that like is like, "Hey, man, give me one of your tots," and you don't. You say no, and then they just kick you right in the tots, right in the tots.
Right, they hit you right in the tots. Those are different
Right in the
tots, I would imagine. Anybody else have anything they want to say about Napoleon before I close out and go to
The next one I think people will be more agreeable to.
Okay, number
Number 8.
8 on the list. I'm going to type it in first as we go here. I do want to
It was the introduction of some
jump
folks.
up on a table
Yes.
and go, my baby Kevin is all grown up.
Whoa,
That's what I want to
whoa,
say.
whoa,
My baby
whoa.
Kevin is all grown up.
I'm older than you.
We're talking about number 8 on the list. We're talking about Swingers with John Favreau and
Vinny
Vince
Vaughn.
Vaughn.
Vinny Vaughn.
Yeah.
I've never
Man.
seen this thing. Never.
You've never seen Swingers?
You've never seen Swingers?
John, you
I
come,
haven't either, John.
watch Swingers. John, watch Swingers, and next time you come out to LA, I'll take you on a whirlwind tour of the filming locations.
Nice.
Swingers is the reason that the world was given Vince Vaughn and Jean Favreau, basically.
Yeah, this is. I think John Favreau wrote and directed it, if I recall, and guest starred in it, or
Sure enough.
Guest starred.
co-star, whatever. I'm
Guest
old.
starred.
It's like the Love Boat of indie films.
Dude, that movie is actually what got Vince Vaughn into the Lost World, Jurassic Park. Basically,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Spielberg saw it and he was like, "I like this guy. I'm gonna put him in the Jurassic Park 2."
Yeah, it was interesting that they did that they were able to get him. Like, his career is an interesting career. It's a very fascinating career. While Swingers was semi-comedic, he's definitely delved into like horror and drama, but then he always comes back to comedy.
Wedding Crashers.
Oh yeah, Wedding Crashers. Oh, it's classic, but not an independent film.
Right, no.
Swingers is the epitome of
Independent
independent
film.
films. Yeah. 213-310. That's right, Bonnie. He kept trying the number. And then Chicago Rob says, "Your money, baby." Hey,
Here you
Rob.
go. Another one.
Rob, hey, what was it? Hey, Ricky, how you doing? Hey, Rick, how you doing? Wasn't that Rob when he called you Rick? Rob, me and Vince Vaughn, we go way back. He loves me. Watch this. Hey, Vince, how you doing? How you like the movie? Oh, hey, Ricky, yeah, it was great.
It's like I'm assuming you saw him probably. He came in the ArcLight a couple of times.
All the time. And called Rob Ricky.
Tall, one of the tallest some bitches.
6'5". Yeah,
ever.
he's 6'5".
Yeah, he's tall,
You
dude.
can't miss him. You
Nope.
can't miss him.
He
Him
is a
and Jeff
tall
Goldblum,
dude.
like the same height. Jeff Goldblum's a tall dude too.
Number 7, by the way, is going to be a hell of a film.
Yep.
For a lot of you.
Here we go. One of Tarantino's best.
One Mr. Tarantino. You get 1 in the pink and 2 in the, what was it? Brown? Is that how it went? Mr. Brown and 1 in the pink? I don't know. Anyway, we're talking about Reservoir Dogs.
A movie that, unfortunately, I actually like more than Pulp Fiction.
Was it Ron, Rob? It was Ron, not Rick. Okay. That's better.
Yeah, this first outing from Tarantino, well done, well executed, because you had to think about what had actually happened, because they couldn't afford to actually show you the actual crime they were committing, the robbery and everything. So you're seeing kind of like the before effects and the after effects, and everyone's trying to turn on each other, accusing this person of this and that, trying to figure out who's the who's the mole, basically.
Oh, who's the mole?
Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite Tarantino film, and I like that it's shot a lot like Hateful Eight, where it's kind of like a play.
Yes. Matter of fact, I'm surprised they haven't done like a Broadway version play of Reservoir Dogs. That'd be kind of interesting to watch.
Well, now that once that came out of your mouth, somebody's probably going to start writing it, Kevin. Maybe it should be you. before
Maybe it
somebody
should
else.
be me. Chris and I, we should work on the stage play version of Reservoir Dogs.
They haven't done your Candyman.
Oh,
musical
yes,
yet.
right. What else? True. I do have the Candyman musical
But they
idea.
did do
That's true.
Evil Dead the musical, and I was like, oh, they're getting close.
They're getting
Kevin.
close.
You
They're
better
getting
watch.
close. They're getting close to my
They're
Candyman
circling
musical.
around.
Go down the list, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, Michael Madsen in this film, though.
Amazing.
How great.
Amazing.
I mean, just shows his menacing versatility. And he's like,
And he's nonchalant.
quiet
And
intensity.
he's nonchalant about his violence, too.
Yes.
Very nonchalant about it.
I'll tell you, pound for pound, that guy is a hugely underrated actor. And I always used to get him confused with Tom Sizemore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, always.
A lot of people said that too. They would be like, "Is that Madsen or is that Sizemore?"
Yeah.
On a deal.
We should have a game show called Madsen or Sizemore.
Now, Tarantino did lie for many years about doing a Vega Brothers movie with Michael Madsen and John Travolta.
Yeah, kind of drug him along.
Yeah, 'cause apparently, like in universe, they're supposed to be brothers.
They're brothers, yeah.
Tarantino said, "Yeah."
Oh, that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
John, Shorty, you guys like this one? Good choice.
Never saw it, man.
Never seen it. Oh wow.
Never seen
Never
it.
saw it.
But you've seen Pulp Fiction, I bet.
I have, yes.
Okay.
Trust me, brother, watch Reservoir Dogs. You'll feel the power
It's
of
pretty solid.
of
Yeah,
this
It's a
solid independent film.
Shorty, what'd you think?
I love any Quentin Tarantino movies. I did see Reservoir Dogs.
Have you seen Jackie Brown at least?
No, I did see Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, okay.
I loved it.
I got you.
I absolutely loved it. There's not a whole lot that he does do that I don't like, though. He's got his own mindset about how he likes to show windows for people to see, and that's all they see, and I love that. So, yeah, it's a great movie. It grabs you from the beginning to the end.
Absolutely.
Gory, very gory.
Yes, indeed.
Well, now I want to see it. See,
I'm all ears.
And you gotta get,
I got that. Very nice.
you gotta
Very
get
nice.
Nice.
was due. That
I'll be
was
here
his
all week.
first movie out of the gate. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So it's kind of like to start with that. It's like, and you think it's like, well, damn, it's like you start with something like that's good. Surely you can't do anything to top that.
Mhm.
Well, Jackie
And
Brown
then he-
is a great one in my opinion.
He's like, hold my beer.
yeah,
All
he's like, hold on beer.
I'm
The
bringing
great
up.
thing about. Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. I'm just going to say, Kevin, the great thing too about Jackie Brown was how he brought in all of these old schooly actors.
Yes, Forrester,
that
Robert
technically-
Forrester. Yep.
Forrester, Pam Grier,
Pam Grier.
that you would technically kind of have, a lot of people had written off, basically, like their
Mhm.
careers are over, they're has-beens, blah, blah, blah. So, but Tarantino loves to do that in his films. He's like, I'm going to bring back people that,
We're underappreciated, underrated.
that are underappreciated and kind of written off as,
not gonna
back-
lie though, Rob Zombie kind of does that too, though, with his cast.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah, Sig.
There's a lot of the same people, but he brings in people like he was saying that you don't normally see a lot.
Mhm.
Like look at Sid Haig, man. Look how far back his career went. You know
Many,
what I mean?
many
Like,
years.
and it got
Many
popular
years.
again with House of a Thousand Corpses and everything else.
Corpses,
Yeah.
yeah.
John Travolta.
Oh, it's
You
true.
brought him back.
John Travolta.
It's true.
I feel like Travolta. It's like, man, he owes Tarantino big time, man, big time.
Big time. You're not wrong. It actually jump-started his career, and he went on to
that's
such
true.
classics as
Before-
The General's Daughter.
Before Pulp
and-
Fiction, he was kind of stuck doing those Look Who's Talking movies.
Yeah. Look, I crap my pants, and that was like when they were old
Yeah.
and talking, and they were like, "Yeah, old people talk." It's a terrible movie. So number 6 and number 5, we're putting them up at the same time for time's sake. Number 6 is apparently it has the little circular ball thing that appears on my screen whenever it freezes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like in the yard there on the
Oh,
screen.
my
You'll see it. I
goodness.
thought maybe
Wow.
something was wrong with my computer.
Oh, wow.
But no, that's a ball in the yard. That's Parasite, by the way. That is number 6 on the list. That's followed up with number 5 on the list, the original Golden Harvest produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was an independent film, yes.
Yes, deserted by New Line
It's up.
Cinema.
And Chris
Talking about,
reminded
like,
me
New
about
Line,
that.
New Line Cinema. The house that Freddy.
So you guys feel free to talk about either one of these films, and then we're going to move on from there.
Well, I feel
I've
like,
not.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I've not seen Parasite, but I have seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles over 100 times.
There you go.
It is probably one of my favorite movies ever made.
Turtle Power.
And it
Really?
was one of the top choices on my list. And I knew it was like indie films, like we're talking about Turtles because it was an indie film. And just what they were able to do with an indie film, like be able to partner up with Henson and be able to create those turtle costumes and be able to do that.
Man. The animatronics
Is
alone.
fantastic.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent job.
Not the CGI monstrosities
Right.
of what the newer films.
Michael
You're-
Bay.
you're not wrong,
Michael
yeah.
Bay.
Andrea said, I really enjoyed Parasite. Sammy says Turtle Power. Sammy, there's something with your history of your family or something with Ninja Turtles, if I'm correct.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Bonnie says, I haven't seen Parasite yet, but as a child of the 80s, TMNT was one of my absolute favorites growing up.
As it should be.
I feel like if you haven't seen Parasite, by the way, you should. It is a phenomenal classist kind of a story that has to do a lot with family and wanting to provide better for said family. It's heartbreaking and elevating, and it's high culture told in a very intimate story. It's fantastic. Highly recommend it. In Turtles, if you haven't seen it yet, I don't know what's wrong with you. Watch
Exactly.
it. Chris and I actually, years and years ago back when he lived out here in LA, we had a Turtles marathon, and I was like, I'm going to invite everybody. Nobody else showed up. It was just Chris and I. And we lived it the fuck up. We ordered New York style pizza. We ordered a big, large, like super large pizza from Joe Peeps from New York. It's a New York style pizza place out here in LA. And they made us the largest pie, and we had those huge slices, just like you would see in the film, you know, like in Turtles 2, I believe it was. So it was.
Wait, so
it
you
was-
guys, you even watched the third Turtles?
Oh,
in time?
hell yeah, dude. We watched Turtles.
Yes, we did.
It brought
Yes, we
Casey
did.
Jones back. That's all that matters.
You know,
All that matters.
Ninja Turtles took New Line Cinema to that next level because it is the house that Freddy Krueger built, but Ninja Turtles helped take it, elevate it to another level. And then, of course, Lord of the Rings,
Oh yeah.
into the stratosphere.
Sean is saying, how about Paul Thomas Anderson's Inherent Vice?
Oh, yes.
I think I fell asleep.
Oh,
Boogie Nights.
oh yes.
I think I fell asleep. Licorice Pizza, I did not watch. Hard 8, I think I fell asleep.
Magnolia. Magnolia is a great
I
one.
did fall asleep for
Okay.
that one. But it's like 4 hours long. Come on. I started
Magnolia's like
watching at
4 hours
midnight.
long.
Yes, it's
Magnolia's
long as
great.
shit.
Magnolia's great.
They
Tom
there
Cruise
was
is great in
raining
Magnolia.
frogs,
Yes.
and I had a nightmare about my mouth being open.
Well, what's the worst thing that could happen? Just because your
A
mouth is
mouth
wet?
full of frog.
Look,
Do
having
you
a
want
frog.
a mouthful of frog?
It's
Nobody
not the
wants
worst thing that can happen to you.
That's pretty
It's
bad.
not the
That's
worst thing that can
pretty
happen to you.
Donald, Magnolia was a snooze fest, man.
What? What's wrong with you?
I tried to like it, but I was like, this is a freaking snooze fest.
Did he
man.
do the blood one? There Will Be Blood?
Yes, he did. There will be blood.
That one's great because I drank so many milkshakes after that, and every time I did, I said that line. People did not want to hang out with me for like a year
Which
straight
line?
after that movie. I drink your milkshake,
Oh,
you know.
I drink your milkshake?
And what you would do is
Good
you'd
old-
get your
good old
straw, and you
gang.
would add a straw to the end, so it made it longer. And they were like, "What are you doing?" And then you'd be like, "Bloop," and you'd be like, "I drink your milkshake." And no, nobody else. did
Bonnie's
that?
upset that you didn't never invite her to this party years ago.
Oh yeah, that's because Bonnie back then hated me.
Oh, come on. Here
We
you go
didn't- we didn't
again.
get along.
Here you go again with that.
I tried really hard. I was like, Bonnie, love
You
me. And she was like,
assumed that people didn't like you back
She
then.
covered me with spittle.
You assumed
spittle all
because
over.
she was a cash handler that she didn't like you.
And she was a cash handler.
And you assumed that just because she was a cash handler, she didn't like you.
She was not a people handler.
Yes, she
was a cash. No, she
was
she
nice
did
to
not
me.
like me.
She was nice to me.
Well, I'm sorry.
What, Shorty?
I'm getting paged, guys. It was so good
Oh,
to meet all.
sorry, buddy.
Brother Shorty.
Yes, thank you. We knew it was limited.
Okay.
Take care, my friend.
All right.
Be
Talk to you
safe.
guys later.
Be safe.
Man.
Talk and see you soon, my friend.
All right.
His time here was shorty.
Ah,
There we go.
brother, Sister Mel and Brother Clifford have some good statements there.
About what? Is it something that they agree with you on? Is that why it's a good statement? I don't even have to look, and I know.
Not necessarily.
Let's see. It's very true that both Freddy and Turtles made all the money for New Line Cinema so they could bravely wander into the Middle Earth. Oh, okay. All right.
It's, see, I
Okay,
speak the
okay.
truth. Do I not?
I'll give you credit
Did I
for
not
credit
speak the
is due. And
truth?
Bonnie says, "Oh my God, Donald."
And Ghost World from Mel. She makes
Spittle.
a good point
She covered
about
me with
Ghost
spittle.
World. That's another indie.
Ghost World?
Yeah, another good.
Yeah, based on a comic book, actually.
Yes.
An independent comic book.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Licorice Pizza was fire. Watch it. Big Papa Chris says that.
You see?
Can I get licorice pizza while watching, and eat it while watching licorice pizza? Is that a possibility? Is that something people do? Is there a licorice pizza out there?
I think
Like
so.
to eat. I know there's a record store called Licorice
Yeah,
Pizza.
I think there is.
Okay, so we all agree. Parasite you should watch. And Turtles, if you haven't watched it, what the fuck, right? Am I right?
Yeah,
Sounds
sure.
right.
Okay, we're going to go to 4 and 3. It's all about the sunshine, guys.
All about the sunshine.
All about the sunshine. Number 4 on the list is the Jim Carrey star, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It also starred
story.
the girl that won't share a piece of wood with you if she's on a body of water and doesn't want to be cold. So there's that.
I got a story about Eternal Sunshine.
Oh, yeah?
Back in the day, this is before most of you came along. This is 2004. We had a Q&A for Eternal Sunshine, and Kate Winslet came. And I've never seen anything like this before. Usually you see this with crazy, teenage girls chasing after, like, the male celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
But there are all these guys who were, like, stalking her, and they knew the secret entrance that we would bring the celebrities and VIPs through. Somehow they discovered it. So when it was over, we took Kate out there to, get to her SUV, and these dudes were there waiting for her. They were crazy. They had their posters like, Kate, we love you, Kate. So we had
you would sign me.
So we had to delay everything. And so eventually when we got her into her SUV, these fools chased her through the ArcLight parking lot out the freaking exit. Like they actually chased her like it was up
Okay.
on what?
Plot twist.
What?
It was Kevin.
It was not me. Come on now.
It was Kevin.
I was in blue uniform.
What?
I was in
Twist.
blue uniform. I was in blue
It
uniform.
was Kevin.
I was in blue uniform. That's not true.
You were in
If
blue.
I
had blue balls.
was there, I wouldn't even. If I was there, I wouldn't even want to go like stalker level. I'd actually be like, "Why'd you let Leo die?"
See, that's
You have a
what I said.
sign.
You both could.
Chasing around a woman who let her dude die.
He had a huge sign. Monty would have a huge
Nobody
sign that
wants that.
says they both can fit. Like holding it up.
It's
Nobody
like, why'd
wants
you
that.
let
And you
die?
take that however you want to.
Now it's funny. 2 weeks later, Leonardo DiCaprio came for a Q&A for The Aviator. Interestingly enough.
You know, Melissa, they would also play the soundtrack to Deep Rising at the ArcLight, and I'd catch shit for that, but that song was there.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, Mel backs me up because she was there at the time. So
What she
backs me
said,
up.
what wasn't Kevin?
Exactly.
Oh, she said it wasn't.
She's yes.
It wasn't other people,
She was
but it
there.
was Kevin.
She
I
was
think
there.
is what she's
No,
saying.
she said it wasn't. So she backs me
Oh,
up because
okay.
she was there at the time. She knew.
LMS is probably the funniest and most unexpected little movie I ever fell in love with. For Michael Gondry, I prefer The Science of Sleep over Eternal Sunshine. Interesting.
Interesting.
I do not at all. I've seen them both. Definitely Eternal Sunshine and Spotless Mind, I think, is like far superior.
Well, that's an opinion, sir.
But Michael Gondry's films are very niche
Yes.
and very,
Apparently,
you know.
Make you think. They
Eternal
make you think,
Sunshine?
though. They make you
Absolutely.
think. They make you think.
Jim
about Matt
Carrey
Adam?
hated shooting. He hated shooting that movie because it was different than anything he's done before, and it was like a nightmare for him shooting that movie. I remember I just read an article about that a couple weeks ago.
But Sean makes some excellent points, though.
That's true. That's true.
And yes,
What what was that other freaking Jim Carrey movie that was completely kind of out of his wheelhouse?
Truman Show, kind of. Truman Show, a little bit.
No, not Truman Show. 'Cause, I mean, that
The cable guy. The cable guy.
No, it wasn't the cable guy. What the hell was it? It's the one where
Is it a horror film?
his wife buys him the book in the bookstore on his birthday or whatever, and he's reading it, and then his whole life starts to unravel a little bit. God, I can't remember what it's called, man.
Is that?
I don't have access. I don't have access to IMDb right now.
That's for sure not the one with Will Ferrell, though, right?
No.
No.
Huh. Wow, I can't tell.
The Majestic,
Enrique,
is that it?
Enrique said, no, it's not the Majestic.
No.
Not the Majestic. It's like a kind of a horror movie.
No, because we all remember the Majestic.
Oh, the number
because
23. That one.
that's it.
The number 23.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gotta be. That's the horror film.
Number 23.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Black Crown, Nep.
Black Crown.
Black Crown
EP.
EP.
Yeah.
You said it. Number 23.
Number 23. We got them all coming in.
Everyone's coming. Everyone's coming in.
Says Melissa. That's a great choice too. I like that.
It's like, that was one of those movies I remember seeing the previews before it came out, like when, they're at the ArcLight, right? And I was like, this seems a little bit out of, this is not
wheelhouse.
like
it didn't do well either. Really quickly, Eternal Little Miss Sunshine is a fantastic independent film. It is a dramedy. It is one of the best. It put Steve Carell on the map as far as like his career outside of The Office.
And Abigail Breslin.
Realistic. Yeah, and it introduced the world to Abigail Breslin. Yeah, you're right. And Paul Dano for that.
And Paul Dano. Who?
Yeah.
There will be blood.
Yeah, you're not right.
And the
Wrong.
Riddler, and the good Riddler until he took off his mask. And started,
BDSM Riddler, yeah.
He took
There we
off his
go.
mask.
Okay, so we're going to go to number 2. This is going to make John very happy.
Very happy, John.
And
John,
I'm
you won't kill
so
anybody.
sorry that Shorty couldn't make it all the way through if we had been just a little faster. And that's on me for rambling.
John, you ready? You know what it is.
Number 2
I'm
on the
hoping
list. Wait, or is it cha 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 cha?
No, that's Friday the 13th.
Oh, okay.
And actually, it's
Really? I always thought it was cha cha.
I thought that too, but it's actually
Kill.
it's actually
Yeah.
It's
very true.
KKK mama. He say mama.
No, so look, he took the actual. So there's a scene in the movie.
Killer
if you
Mommy.
remember. Yeah, and he took the first 2 letters basically of her saying that and made that into the.
Oh, that's very clever.
Yep. It's like the person's like Killer Mommy.
I did not
Killer.
know
So
that.
you
That's
cut that off.
extremely clever.
Yep.
Wow.
I think how creepy it is. Though.
That's a
I'm
good idea.
I'm
gonna write that
intrigued to
down.
see
Nobody's ever done that. I'm gonna write that down.
the new Crystal Lake series. I wonder if it's going to be.
Huh. That could work. But brother John, please break it down. This beautiful classic film from 45 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking my all-time favorite. So this is where I say, like, if I were to make a list, it would be all these movies that are popular now, but they weren't then because, let's be honest, Halloween was a cult following because a lot of people didn't get it. It did well, obviously, for its time. It was made on a very low budget, so it did really well for its time. But it wasn't. Look how long it took to catch on, man. I mean, shit. I was born in '78, so I didn't even get to see it till like, man, I can't remember when I saw it at some point in the '80s. But it just, I don't know, there's something about it, man. There's, to me, with all its faults, because obviously there's faults in the movie. People have pointed out the different things and all that shit. But for me, it's like the perfect movie. I love it. Can't say anything bad about it because I just love the whole movie. I love the whole series, even the ones that people don't like. I still like them myself.
Same. Yeah,
man. I mean, it's just something about it, man. I think John Carpenter, as much as he didn't like to do the sequel, didn't like to, he's still making money though, regardless.
That's
the man
right.
is still
He's getting
making money
paid.
off of it.
And
Yeah,
he
3 new
did
ones.
the soundtrack. He did the score.
And that's the
He did
thing, man.
score.
Like, I'll be really honest with you. I've told people several times, like, that's pretty much like that becomes its own part of the movie.
Yep.
Because without it, they said that they played it for the like the distributors at one point, and they played it without the soundtrack, and they hated it. They absolutely hated it. They went in, put the soundtrack in, and everybody was like, "Holy shit!" Because it makes the movie. It kind of becomes its own.
You know what it's similar to? Psycho. You hear that?
Yeah.
You hear that? It makes the movie.
Yeah.
A lot of these movies, it's like the music is a character in and of itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jed, I don't know where you're at on our pod. So I'm not sure what you're referencing. So if you wanna clarify, that would be cool. I could help you out. As far as Halloween is concerned, we have an Academy Award winner from this film.
Oh yes,
do.
that's
So
right.
there is that.
That's right.
We have not had
Speaking
that.
of that,
Mhm.
I'm a little shocked that that movie is not on this list.
Yeah, me too. But you know what?
I get it.
When we do a part 2 to this,
Here's the thing.
it'll be there.
Here's the thing. We
Are you talking
just
about Halloween?
No, we're talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once. We just talked about Academy Award winners and Oscar films and things like that, and that made the list.
Yes, that's true.
And then we talked about something else. I can't remember.
Female action stars.
Yes, and that movie made the list. So it felt like we talked
But
about
we can't
that.
praise it enough, though.
Right, but it felt like we had talked about that enough that people know that we love that film.
Praise it, Chris,
and we
again.
want to
Praise it
spotlight
again.
a few different films.
That's true.
And I get that people also know that John loves Halloween. We get that, and
Right.
that may or may not have showed up on this.
Right.
The only thing I could not anticipate was other people stating that they love this film, such
Right.
as yourself, Chris,
Right.
and you, Kevin. So that brought it up in the upper echelon of the lists,
Mm-hmm.
which is this was actually the only film that John gave me for his
Not
for
saying
his
that Halloween-
rankings.
I actually made a list. I did make a list though. I really did.
Oh, that's good. Was any of the ones we mentioned so far on your list?
Halloween.
It was just Halloween
Listen,
listed
like I
12
said-
times. Let's be honest.
Like legit, no, for real. Like everything I have on here is all stuff that, like I said. So like,
Night
Well,
of
I'm
the
sorry,
Dead, I
Blair-
bet she's on there.
no, Blair Witch was on there too. So
Okay.
like,
Okay.
Evil Dead. Like, okay, let's be honest. Evil Dead was independent.
Very
it
much
was.
so. Yep.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that
Yep.
was independent.
See? I figured that.
Mhm.
Let's see what else. I got the Puppet Master series, which of course Full Moon. That's all independent movies.
Yep, that's
you know?
true. That's
Yep.
true.
Toxic Avenger. That's all Troma.
Oh, that
That's
was on
40
Chris's. That
That
was
was
on
on
Chris's.
Chris's.
I had
Chris's
that list.
list.
I love Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
Terrifier and Terrifier 2. Those are both independent films, essentially. You know, they've been built on Indiegogos.
Mhm.
You know, I'll throw a little favorite out there because I like it. But have you guys seen The Barn? Anybody seen The Barn?
No.
No, it's from 2016. Then there's The Barn Part 2, which I actually had a part in that. Just saying,
Oh.
it's really cool.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
But they're like straight independent horror. They're like a touch of 80s horror, basically. But that's why I love it. But,
Does the millipede, what's the thing with the connected people?
The human
The
centipede.
human centipede, does that count too?
Oh,
That- I think-
Jesus.
I think that
Yeah.
would be independent horror for sure.
I
Yeah.
think it does qualify. I don't think it's good, but I think it qualifies. We're gonna go with number one real quick before Kevin dies. Number one on the list is Clerks. For
That's
you, this is quintessential Hollywood filmmaking on a budget, independent filmmaking.
$27,000.
Kevin Smith ran out of money, so he just did what any good person would do. What I did, and did not help me at all.
Credit cards.
Yes, put it on credit cards. It was actually a horrible idea, so don't listen to Kevin Smith. I have spent 15 years trying to pay off my credit card debt for one little 4-season web series that I did. So
I think didn't Robert Rodriguez do that for
I don't
Mariachi
fucking
as
care.
well?
Fuck 'em.
No. What he did was he got his $7,000 mostly through basically subjected his body to experiments. Like basically he they had
Oh, jeez.
signs for drugs. You know, they would inject them with all kinds of stuff. They'd pay him.
Wow.
Run of money. You know.
Yeah, Chris donated sperm until they told him they didn't need any more.
Chris with Professor Turner would not do that.
They were like, "You filled the banks."
Professor Turner would
He's
not
like,
do
"I got
this.
more, guys."
Professor Turner would not do
It's just
that.
opposite the days of,
No
like,
sperm, but I did donate plasma.
oof.
Yep. It is a very predictable film, and I think one that our mutual friend Dwight Scott would not be ashamed that we
That's
listed
right.
so high.
That's right.
Yeah. Gerald says he apparently used FEMA funds too.
Oh wow.
No, Kevin did not.
Oh,
use
oh,
FEMA.
oh,
No,
okay.
No, he's being facetious.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, though, look at the cult following it has. It's still going today. Like we
Yeah.
have a third one.
Yeah.
Recently.
There might be a fourth one I hear. It might be a fourth
Here's
Clerks movie.
a
Yeah.
humble brag for you guys. I did so well on my Kickstarter campaigns and stuff, and Indiegogo campaigns and things. I had a very high success rate that the girlfriend of the lead in Clerks, I actually took a meeting with her,
Ooh.
and we discussed me running her campaign for a film project that she was working on. She did not like my price, which is fine. It's
That's the
fine.
one that sucked the 37 dicks, right? That one.
Yes!
Oh my God.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah. I mean, not in real life.
Just want to make
Kevin.
sure.
Not in real life. Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
It was in the film.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the movie, man. Just
But that's the girl.
Okay.
Yeah, she sucked 37 dicks.
I didn't know things like that were going on in New Jersey like that. My goodness.
And then she was like, okay, so here's the thing. We took the meeting, right? And she's like, what do you want from this project? And I was like, I didn't want to say 37.
No,
You know, you want to say
no.
How about 38? Now, I didn't want to say
No,
that.
you don't
but I
say
thought
that.
it would be hilarious to say because, you know, I have the girl that's
No.
37. I'd be like,
What would
how
your
about
mother
38?
say? What would your mother
Well, she's
say?
not here right now. So, like, she'll rewatch this, though, and she'll be like, son,
That's right.
I'll get it later. But she's going into surgery early in the morning, so she isn't going to see this for a while. And she'll be drugged when she does, so she won't remember it.
Good point, Sean. Again, Wes Anderson, Jim Jarmusch. You know, well, like I said, we're gonna be doing like a part 2 to this for sure because again, there are so many.
Yeah, I mean Rushmore. No,
What, you don't like Rushmore?
I'm not putting that high up on the
Whoa,
list.
you like Rushmore? You don't like Rushmore?
I feel like if you're going to choose between Rushmore and a higher caliber film, you're going to go with A Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Oh, well,
Yes.
I just think that's a better film overall. Some people disagree with me, and Rushmore definitely had its merits. It just advertised itself as a different film than what you got, and that I didn't appreciate.
Okay.
Like it should have. That little tiff that they had was a very small part versus the rest of the film, which is totally different and explains things in a different way. So for me, it just didn't land in that proper tone. But I appreciate you appreciating that film also. I'm not angry
See,
at
if
you
Howard
at
was
all.
on right now, he would agree with him.
I'm sure Howard would, but Howard never is on our podcast.
Jim Hoffmaster would appreciate it.
Jim is never. Oh, actually, he was once.
Just what time?
Jim
What
was on our
time?
podcast once. Monty. Jim was on it once on the live. I think he said hello. Yes, Andrea, you're right. Rushmore and Life Aquatic are very different.
Maria.
Yeah, there's Maria.
Bottle
She
Rocket.
finally popped
See,
in.
Bottle Rocket.
Well. Look who finally decided to show up.
Naked Lunch. Ah, yes, Naked Lunch. That's another one.
I think she was busy. Yeah, Naked Lunch. Wait. No.
No.
That's Naked Lunch. Is that the one? Who directed Naked Lunch? Is it
Well, it had Peter Weller in it, right?
Yeah, wasn't it Cronenberg?
I think so.
And didn't it have to do with them like having like some type of like roach dust or some shit? Am I wrong here?
I'm trying to remember it. Naked Lunch.
Was there beetles that were like in the shape of typewriters that had giant anuses?
Oh.
I think I'm right here.
If it's Cronenberg, that wouldn't surprise me.
I think that's Naked Lunch.
It could be.
And they played it after they played RoboCop. They did a double feature. They did RoboCop, and this was at the Egyptian, and they followed it up with Naked Lunch, if I recall. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Naked Lunch is the weirdest goddamn film I've ever seen. I left. I got up and I left because, like, look, I can only take so many typewriters with giant beetle butts. Like, there was just anuses everywhere. I didn't understand.
I think he confirms
Never
what you
seen
said.
Society, huh? Because that's fucked
Yeah,
up,
it
too.
was all about the drugs. Yeah. Okay, all right, cool. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, I watched that shit and I was like, what the fuck am I missing? Like, I was not on what I should have been on when I started watching the film in the theater. I missed the boat.
You going into a Cronenberg movie?
I know, right? I really dropped the ball on that one, buddy. Yeah, but Melissa, yeah, that's a trip, man. That's a trip. Hats off to you for like watching that all the way through, because like I needed some special stuff, and I just did not have it with me at the time. I was ill-equipped. Let's just put it that way. I
Well,
was
next time,
ill-equipped.
get that special sauce.
I guess so.
After all, next week we're gonna need some of it.
Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Yeah, Nick Cave. Great performer, actually. Red Right Hand, which is an integral part of every Scream film since the first one.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, brother Scott.
Yeah. Well, it's
No
even in the
problem,
first-
Scott. We're wrapping up here in a moment anyway, so thank you so much for being a part of this. Really quickly, we've had number one, we've had Clerks. This is a really fun one, guys. We all had a lot of fun, like kind of researching and talking about it and trying to figure out what we thought were independent films.
And there'll be a part 2.
And I think we're going to do a part 2, and I think it would be nice to spotlight another independent film that's going to be coming out from one of our friends or you know, coworkers or whatever,
Yes.
you know, that happens to be able to put together something like this. So Monty, thank you for being on.
And you're always welcome, sir.
Yeah, always welcome to be a guest on here if you'd like at some point.
if you have a part 2, for instance, I would love to come play in the sandbox with you guys.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Monty's new short film is going to come out and playing at the film festival in where at is it again, Monty?
So it's Bare Bones International Film Festival, and it's in Muskogee, Oklahoma.
I would have
It's,
never remembered
playing-
Muskogee.
You've never heard the song "An Okie from Muskogee"?
Muskogee, I've heard of it.
No,
What kind of country
See,
man
this
are
Kevin's-
you?
sorry. Rocky
So,
Mountain High, I
anyway-
guess, is what I was on.
Yeah, it's going to premiere on April 29th.
April 29th, and it's playing 29th and 30th, if I'm correct, yes?
No, the award ceremony is going to.
Oh, okay,
30th.
that's what it is. The award ceremony. Okay, excellent. So fingers crossed, it wins all the awards. It is called My Husband is the Devil. It is directed by Shorty, and it is starring Monty and also Lexi McGrew. McGrew, yeah, that's right, Lexi McGrew, and definitely highly recommend if you're in that area to check it out. And if you're not, fly there right now and just stay there until it starts.
Well, like Shorty said, he's wanted to wait till after the festival,
Mhm.
and then it'll be released on things like Vimeo and stuff like that, where
there we go.
anybody who wants to watch it can watch it.
Excellent.
Basically.
Yeah, and we'll post it also on our social media, on our Facebook page, Friends of the Real Short Box. If you're not in on Friends of the Real Short Box, I know this is Rumble Pop, but if you're not in on Friends of the Real Short Box, get in on that, because we will eventually transition that page to a Rumble Pop page. It's a slow moving, working progress, but it is going to happen eventually. So get in on that. Request to be invited, and we will invite you on in, because
Or if I send you the invite
we're like
myself.
a little clubhouse. Yeah.
Accept
Kevin
it.
will also send you the invite too. So thank you guys for being a part of this. Check out our sponsors, Half's Hot Sauce. Go to halfshotsauce.com. Coupon code Donald Hiccups. 10% off your order. Go to splatteredfrog.com. Put in Shortbox for 20% off your order. Guys, check these people out. Their products, there, what they put out there is fantastic.
Independent businessman.
We put a lot of time and effort into searching for our sponsors. So Splattered Frog and Half's Hot Sauce have been great to us and for us. So we highly recommend them. Thanks again so much, everybody.
Leave a like.
If we don't see you out and about anytime soon, perhaps you're just thirsty for Chris?
Professor Turner.
A nice, cold, crispy, sweaty can of Rumble Pop.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
we go.
Thanks again, Monty. Thank you, John, again for being a wonderful
Brad.
co-host on this. We appreciate
Be
you as
safe,
always.
everybody.
And everybody have a good night. Here we go.